So here I want to, for example, assign another value to the speed instance variable. So I need to just refer to the name of my object, my second dog object dot set speed. Okay, so here we need to actually pass a value to this method, for example number 24. Okay, and here we are actually assigning another value to the speed instance variable, okay, by using this setter method. Okay, so now let me actually access that value by using the getter method. So we need to actually refer to the name of our object, my second dog dot get speed. Okay, and at the end of my statement I need to put in a semicolon. So because this get speed method returns an integer value, we can actually directly output that value to the console. Okay, so we can just type in here system dot out dot println, and then inside the parentheses I can actually put this statement here. Okay, my second dog dot get speed, and then I can put that here. Okay, so now I need to put in a semicolon at the end of my statement, and if I run my project now, as you can see, the value of the speed instance variable of this my second dog object is now 24. Okay, because we changed that value to 24 in line 19. Okay, so for example, if I want to actually output the value of the speed instance variable before assigning this number 24 to the speed instance variable, let's see how we can do that. In this line of code, we are actually assigning another value to our speed instance variable. So before this line of code, if I want to access the value of the speed instance variable, I just need to type in system.out.println, and then inside the parentheses, I can just refer to the name of my object, my second dog dot get speed. And then at the end of my statement, I need to put in a semicolon. So as you can see here, our value is 17, and in line 20 we decided to change that value to number 24, and in line 22 we decided to output that value to the console. Okay, so this value here is the result of execution of this line of code here. Okay, or I can actually access the value of the power instance variable and output that value to the console. Okay, so I just need to type in here system.out.println, and then inside the parentheses I just need to refer to the name of my object, and then I put the dot notation here, and then I can access the value of the power instance variable by using this get power method. Okay, and then I need to put in a semicolon at the end of my statement. And if I run my project now, as you can see, this is the value of the power instance variable of this my second dog object. Okay, or I can actually set another value to the power instance variable of the my second dog object. Okay, so I just need to refer to the name of my object dot set power, and then I can actually pass another value to this method, for example number 40, and then I can actually again output the value of the power instance variable of this my second dog object to the console. So because this get power method returns an integer value, I can actually assign that value to another variable. So I can just type in here int returned value. Okay, and then I can assign the value of the power instance variable to this variable. Okay, so I just need to refer to the name of my object dot get power. Okay, and then I need to put in a semicolon at the end of my statement, and now I want to output the value of this variable to the console. Okay, so I just need to type in here system.out.println, and then inside the parentheses I can just refer to the name of my variable returned value, and then I need to put in a semicolon at the end of my statement. Okay, and now if I run my project, as you can see, this is the value of the power instance variable of this my second dog object. Okay, we changed that value from number 80 to number 40. Okay, So as you can see here, we used these setters and getters in order to access the value of our instance variables, or we actually changed the value of those instance variables to another value, okay? But still there is a big problem here, okay? So first of all, let me point out that although we have setters and getters for our instance variables inside the dog class, okay? So this is our dog class, and these are the setters and getters for our instance variables, okay? So although we have setters and getters for our instance variables, but still I can access these instance variables from my main class, okay? So now let me show you that inside the main class, I can easily access these instance variables directly, okay? So inside the main class, let me actually comment out these lines of code here. And now I want to show you that still I can actually access those instance variables directly. So first I want to create another object from the dog class, dog, my third dog, okay? And then I put an assignment operator here, and then I use this keyword here, new, and then again I refer to the name of my class, and then I put a pair of round brackets after my class name, okay? So now, as you can see here, I want to access the value of the speed instance variable and then output that value to the console. So I just need to type in here system.out.println, and then inside the parentheses, I need to refer to the name of my object, .speed. So as you can see here, I successfully managed to access this instance variable directly. And this is not right, okay? So there is something wrong here. So what's the problem? The problem is we don't have any rules in order not to allow any other classes other than this dog class, okay, to access those instance variables directly. We shouldn't allow any other classes to access these instance variables directly, okay? We only want to allow any other classes other than this dog class to use these setters and getters that I provided for these instance variables in order to manipulate these instance variables, okay? So now the question is, what should we do, okay, in order not to allow any other classes other than this dog class to access these instance variables directly? And the answer is that we have to use the Java access modifiers, okay? So what do I mean by access modifiers? Access modifiers are keywords in object-oriented languages like Java that set the accessibility of classes, methods, variables, or objects, okay? So now I'm gonna show you some of those access modifiers that we use a lot in our Java programs. The first access modifier is package, okay? We have been using this access modifier in our previous projects. And this means that if our variable, for example, uses the package access modifier, that variable is going to be visible to the whole package, okay? So now let me show you a real example. Now I want to create a variable here, for example, inside the dog class. So int, for example, a, and then I can assign a value to my variable, for example, number 32. So this variable uses the package access modifier. And you may wonder that how did I actually identify the access modifier of this variable? Because the package access modifier is the default access modifier for all of our methods or variables, okay? And we don't need to actually specify that this variable uses the package access modifier, okay? By default, it is package, okay? So now, as you can see here, I can actually access this variable, this instance variable from the main class, okay? So I can just refer to the name of my object, and then I can actually access that variable, and then I can assign another value to this variable, okay? The package means visible to the whole package, okay? So for example, if I want to actually create another package in this project, let's see how we can do that.